There's a fair few youngsters here, and what was your perceptions of going from the junior ranks to the senior ranks? How did you rate as a junior, and what did you find the best messages you took during that journey?
Too much. I think for me it was just clarity on what I wanted to achieve. Andrej spoke really about. I think it's about if it's an NBA, it's an NBA. For me, I remember quite clearly as a 13-year-old down the road at Napier Boys, setting the goal of making the Tall Blacks team to go to the Sydney Olympics, and it was seen by many as quite a lofty goal, almost unattainable to most. But for me, it was like, old mates up the road were hosting rights, and we'd never beaten them to qualify for an Olympic Games, so it was almost a given that we were going to go. So I was going to, for sure, make sure I was going to get there. And so I guess as a 13-year-old coming up with that goal, it was right. All right, how do I get there? What do I need to do to get there? And it was just going through the process of, I used stepping stones, age group teams, and local rep teams, and age group teams, and just trying to tick those off on the way. And I didn't really know that it was going to happen, but I just sort of, that was where I wanted to go, and I worked my butt off to try and get there.
I think I'll just add to a point. I'm going to jump in earlier, but I think something Judd's been pushing with our Breakers Academy guys for the last few years is pushing yourself to play at another level. So if you're a great high school basketball player, that's fine, but you now need to go and talk to the Hawks coach and go and be a member of the Hawks squad and train against men and or women, whatever sport it may be. But don't be happy at the level you're at and dominating the level you're at. I think it'd be very rare that you have an elite athlete that didn't jump upgrades when they were a junior. A couple of reasons. Obviously pushes you along skill level, but also something Judd talks about a lot is it humbles the kids, going from being able to do anything they want on the court to I'm training against a policeman that works 9 to 5 and comes to training 7 till 9 at night, and now I can't do anything. That's probably pretty humbling for a typical 17-year-old. So finding ways to get better competition all the time, I think, is a big thing. And how old were you when you started New Zealand NBL?
Yeah, I was just hearing Mike talk about that and being here in Hawke's Bay is very fitting for me, and having Curtis in the room is extremely fitting. Juddy came to Hawke's Bay in 1994. Some of you even born. I find that there's so many more opportunities these days, but back in my day, school training from, I can't remember what time it was, so 4 to 6, and just again following on from Mike's point there, I'd go to high school, train from 4 to 6, and I was one of the better players on the team and in the region, and did pretty well. I would then jump in my car, find a ride, get my coach to drop me off, however I could get there from Napier Boys up to Napier Girls, where the Hawks would start training at about 6:30 or a couple of hours later, and get up there as fast as I could, run in the gym, start warm-ups, and then train with the Hawks squad. And back then, for me, that was probably the best development for me. I was, I can't remember how old I was, 15 years old or whatever it was, going up there, and as I said, Juddy was here, and at the ripe old age of, yes. But my point, there was Tyrone Brown, and Americans here, and imports here, and Curtis was great. He allowed me to come up because either I'd asked him, or he said come along and see how you go. But I would go up there and I'll get my butt kicked, and there's no doubt about it. I remember times when, you know, either the other point guard was injured and I'd have to match up with this guy, and there were times where I felt I couldn't even get the ball over halfway, let alone be a point guard and run an offense. It was very humbling for me to go there and get my butt kicked. And, but it had to be good for me, you know, because then I'd go back into my age group and, you know, do what I did there and do it pretty successfully, but then I would just be like, this is where I want to go, this is the level where I have to be, you know, in a few years' time. So, you know, it took my lashings, but it was well worth it.
I was going to say one of its characteristics was persistence, and I think these two here, obviously, they've talked about me being almost a bully in one way in the start of their careers, but you know, I've learned certainly as a player and as a coach not to put limits or ceilings on athletes, and these two are probably good examples because, you know, at 15 years old, yes, I was probably, you know, a lot further, a lot older, but but also, you know, knowing he had those challenges, he had those early challenges, and both of them did, but they keep turning up the next day, the next week. They didn't sit back and go, this is too hard, you know, it's not for me. And then, you know, year after year, and with both these guys, you know, battled, you know, fiercely, and you know, hearing Paulie talk about the 2000 Olympics, like that was in my eyes. I had that same dream as well. And he took my spot. That's the way I sort of looked at it. But you know, you need that. You need that as a youngster coming through. You got to put yourself in those situations to get better and to get stretched. But you got to keep turning up. You know, when you are getting your butt kicked and when you are finding it tough. To me, that's what will turn the corner for a lot of athletes.